It's Jets at Noon with Cameron Poitras and Jim Toth on 680 CJOB.
You know, it's a grind. This schedule's a grind. It's going to be a grind, and we didn't really feel there was going to be any time to catch up and get rest between now and even the Olympics. So us picking this date had more to do that the last week or so, it's been bothering him a lot more. And he come out of games, and he's sore after games. Couldn't practice. I don't know if you saw this week, he didn't practice a couple of days. So there's still that, and so it's been kind of building a little bit more, so it wasn't going to get any easier for him. And, you know, I know he would love to just keep playing. So it wasn't looking at what was coming down the road, whether that's Olympics or the playoffs. It's getting him healthy for that second half for the big run.
Cam Poitras, Jim Toth here, Jets at Noon on 680 CJOB. Jim, are you there?
I am here. I'm at the St. Boniface Hospital Radiothon, which we're here all day, and I have not seen Connor Hellebuyck here getting a procedure done, so I don't know where he's at. But Darren Dreger had the news today. And quite honestly, Cam, we were talking about this a little bit. You know, Connor went down a couple of years ago. Scheifele's been injured, stuff like that. But this is the one injury, and not saying it's grave or anything. We're going to get the details on that. But this is the one injury, I think, that has every Jet fan waiting with bated breath, right?
And the guy who broke the news, TSN's Darren Dreger, is joining us right now. Hey, Darren, thanks so much for finding some time for us today.
Yeah, you bet. Anytime.
No, yeah, thanks so much. Well, I mean, just the initial impact. I mean, right before you put out that post, I mean, what was running through your head that the Winnipeg Jets are shutting Connor Hellebuyck down for 4 to 6 weeks, undergoing a minor arthroscopic knee procedure? What was going through your mind?
Well, they wouldn't do it if they didn't have to, and if it wasn't in the best interests of the Winnipeg Jets as an organization here. And you know, I'm sure that Team USA fans are sitting there going, oh, no. I mean, is this in any way going to impact or influence his ability to play for Team USA at the Olympics in February? No one is concerned about that, including Billy Guerin, the general manager for Team USA. He will be ready, but that's not what motivated the decision, as we just heard from Scott Arniel. I mean, this is about getting Connor Hellebuyck healthy and prepared for the grind that is the second half of the regular season, and ultimately going as deep as the Winnipeg Jets expect to go, with Hellebuyck being a major factor in all of that. So it's been lingering. My understanding is that something occurred in training camp. So now we're 20-plus games into the NHL regular season. Enough is enough. There's no sense of this being a problem later in the year.
What is it, Dregs, that you know specifically, the injury?
Yeah, I don't want to disclose any of the specific details. And to be brutally honest, I don't have the specifics as to why they're doing the arthroscopic procedure, what they're trying to take out, what they're trying to move, any of that. But the word that jumps out to me and was emphatically shared with me is it's a minor arthroscopic procedure. Now, anytime you have a procedure doesn't necessarily mean that it can't develop into something more. But I think that Winnipeg and Connor Hellebuyck would be very happy if he's ready to return in the 4 to 5 week range, and comfortable if he's good to go, you know, at the back end of the 4 to 6 weeks. But to divulge the specifics of what the mechanics of the issue is, I don't have that full information. I'd be speculating, and I don't want to do that.
One more for you, Darren, and then we'll let you go. I know you got some other commitments, and I appreciate you squeezing us in here very much. Do you think this pushes the Jets into maybe looking to make a trade? Have they been circling around some things, top 6 forward, top 4 D-men? You hearing anything?
No, it's relatively quiet, but, you know, the line that we're accustomed to looking at on an annual basis of being around 20 games has been pushed a little bit this year. Not to say that there won't be trades, excuse me, but I get the sense that there are so few sellers right now that it's near impossible to upgrade unless you're significantly going to overpay. And Winnipeg doesn't need to do that. You know, they're finally getting healthy again, minus, of course, Connor Hellebuyck. So they're going to work with what they have internally in Comrie and in Milich and hope for the best. I mean, they're a pretty good defensive team. They are. And their goaltending should be fine. Not the caliber of Connor Hellebuyck. Nobody expects that. But, you know, you do have to tighten up in certain areas when you're facing adversity like this. But nothing around this organization right now tells me that there's a strong appetite for trade. I saw the post by Frank Seravalli regarding Brad Lambert. That's interesting, but that too has been lingering. I remember having a conversation prior to the start of the regular season about the potential of this. I would caution everybody not to get too wound up. I would say that if a general manager has interest in Brad Lambert, then that general manager should call Kevin Seravalli. He's willing to listen. But the Jets aren't giving away Brad Lambert. They're not giving him away. So we'll see what develops on that front. But aside from that, I think it's relatively quiet.
Dregs, thanks so much. You're the best. Take care.
Appreciate it,
guys.
Darren.
Be well. Thank you.
Yep. It's a great insight there from Dreger, particularly in regards to this huge news with Connor Hellebuyck going down 4 to 6 weeks, but also that little bit that I was sort of biting at when I asked him about a trade about Brad Lambert. Listen, do you want to get into Brad Lambert now, Jim, or do you want to hang on and get into, because he kind of just divulged a little bit there about what he's been hearing? Because I don't want to disparage Frank Seravalli, because I totally believe that this was completely accurate. But I'm with Dreger too as well. And I think this has been something that's been going on for a while.
Yeah, I don't know how long it's been going on, Cam, but this is the norm now, right? Let's be honest. I mean, there's a guy that's a top 6 player on an NHL roster, and there's not a spot there. And I'll go a little bit further as well. There's not a spot handed to you, and I'm sorry, you got to earn it. And I'm not disparaging Brad Lambert at all. I think there's an agent and some other factors of people around him. But this is not unlike Rutger McGroarty to me. You did not have a very good season with the Manitoba Moose. You've only been in the organization a couple of seasons. And there's a lot of runway here for you to develop and become a player. You've played 4 games for the Winnipeg Jets this year. My opinion, you're welcome. And you should say thank you. But I also understand from an outsider's perspective, in a business, which this is, there isn't any room in the top 6, and there won't be for a long time. Now, if he thinks he's better than Nemestikov and needs to be on that second line, I didn't see that in training camp, and I didn't see that in the 4 games he played. Understandably, the only goal he scored was in the bottom 6. Mm-hmm. But that being said, this is a team that's in win-now mode. And if you don't want to work the next 2 to 3 years to become a 30 and 40 goal scorer in the American Hockey League, and you just want something handed to you, that's what an agent's job is to do. If you're not playing in the National Hockey League, I need to get you to the National Hockey League. And when I get you to the National Hockey League, you got to play a lot of games, so when your next contract comes up, I can give you some money. There is zero pressure on the Winnipeg Jets right now to make this move.
Why? Without a doubt.
Zero. And I'll tell you something else, Cam. We're an injury or 2 away from seeing Brad Lambert play for the Winnipeg Jets this year. So why you've been given permission to your agent, it tells me that, I don't know, Kevin Seravalli is smarter than I am, but I don't think he's calling 31 teams going, what will you give me for Brad Lambert? A 30th overall pick in the first round that has yet to prove himself at the American Hockey League level to be a dynamic player or the NHL level. Do I think he's going to play in the NHL? Yes, I do. Do I think he could on some very poor teams right now? Probably. Mm-hmm. But that's not the way it works. Asset management. Go to the Moose, put up 30 goals, then I can maybe get somebody to pick up the phone and trade for you. But the Jets need a top 6 forward or a top 4 D-man. That's what they'd be looking for, in my opinion, in a trade. And you're not getting that for Brad Lambert, even with a pick, because he hasn't done anything yet.
And I get where he's coming from.
I get it too.
So I understand where he's coming from. Nikita Chibrikov has a one-way contract next year. Nikita Chibrikov will be with the Winnipeg Jets next season. He won't be playing with the Moose.
But Lambert, he will not be in the top 6 next year.
That's right. Lambert has 1 more year on his ELC. And listen, the way that things are going right now and all the contracts and all that, you're right about injuries, right? He is 2 injuries away from being back up with the Winnipeg Jets. But the thing is, Jim, he's got another year on his ELC. He's going to be back playing with the Moose next year. And you can't tell me that the way that it was sort of a rehearsal or what's the word that I'm thinking of here? He was given an opportunity with the Winnipeg Jets. It was
exactly what Scott Arniel said it was. And in the long term, we wanted to get some guys into games while we had some injuries, so that when they do come up in March and April,
did he blow your mind? Did he blow anyone's mind?
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all.
Well, that's the situation.
He is exactly at the point where I'd hope he'd be at this point, which is he will play some games for the Jets and predominantly be a Moose player. And when he can put up 30 goals and be a dynamic player, he'll be given a chance. Trust me on this, Cam. The one thing the Winnipeg Jets would love to have is Brad Lambert outperform Nemestikov to the point where he has to be on that second line. They would love for that. And they would put him on that line the minute he would be ready for it. But he's not.
And the thing is, too, Jim, is how many times have we gone through this? There's going to be people calling, oh, you have to trade him, you have to do this. There is absolutely, and you said it, and Dreger said he's not going to be giving him away. There is no rush to do absolutely anything here. This might end up like Logan Stanley, where Logan Stanley asked for a trade. Things worked out for him. He's found his role on this team in this moment right now. Is there going to be more ups and downs? Yeah, absolutely. I think there is going to be more ups and downs for Logan Stanley. But that could be where this thing all heads with Brad Lambert here. And I don't see this. I don't see anything happening in the near future here. Maybe at the trade deadline, something might happen. But if this goes into next year at this time and Brad Lambert is still with the Winnipeg Jets, that wouldn't surprise me. In fact, I think that's the more likely scenario here.
But what is news is, if they could maybe a month or around the deadline package up Lambert and a first-round pick and bring in a top-scoring winger that's going to help them immediately and maybe a little bit of term or a top-4 D-man, I could see them doing it. But Dreger just also told us the ask is overpay, and the Jets don't have to do that. They do not have to overpay. What they can do is when there's an injury, bring Brad Lambert up. But they're not going to send Brad Lambert, Colby Barlow, a first-round pick and a fourth to get a top-6 player. Mm-hmm. And I don't know a lot of teams that, other than the ones that maybe Calgary.
I don't know.
I would think San Jose feels they could push for the playoffs now. That's going to go, here's a top-6 winger, or here's Rasmus Anderson for 2 picks and Brad Lambert.
Yeah.
Maybe that happens, but what we're hearing is the ask is even more than that, so that's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's just what Dreger was saying, too. I mean, the fact is, look at the standings right now. They're so tight. There's no sellers right now. Nobody's looking to make any moves. We got to go here. Jets and Noon is brought to you by
just
what?
The final point you make is
ahead.
good, too. It doesn't have to be a negative. It can be as simple as Logan Stanley and Ville Heinola. I want to play some games.
Jets and Noon is brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line wins a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method. 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program, which is coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio for gourmet pizza and pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza. Hey, everybody, it's Free For All Friday. Hey, everybody, Nikolai Ehlers is playing his first game back in Winnipeg. Hey, everybody, Connor Hellebuyck's out 4 to 6 weeks for a minor arthroscopic knee procedure, and Brad Lambert reportedly has his agent out there looking to figure out a trade. So there's tons going on. Phone lines are open, 204-780-6868. We'll be right back.
For sure. It's no secret. It's pretty cool to be back. Exciting. And definitely one that I was looking forward to, but also getting a little nervous here.
That's Nick Ehlers, who left Winnipeg for Carolina in the summer. He sounds a little nervous there, Jim Toth. Call the Boston Pizza Jets and Noon hotline. Open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Boston Pizza coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15 only at BP. And Jim, we have a new number at St. Boniface.
Yes, 2025 Radiothon of Hope and Healing here at St. Boniface Hospital. And we have a new goal as well because we've already raised $206,116, Cam. At 9 a.m., the goal was $200,000. We've changed that to $300,000. We are going for $300,000 from now
Jim,
until
you can
5:30.
you can just cut him a check, make up the difference.
Hal Anderson dropped his wallet. We could get there real easy if I didn't give it back to him. But I did give it back to him on his way out. So we're trying to reach $300,000. Thank you so much for the generosity. We'll be here till 5:30 and throughout the rest of Jets at Noon. $206,116. Let's keep it going, everybody.
Free for All Friday. Phone lines are open, 204-780-6868. Can Comrie hold on to the net with Hellebuyck out? We'll discuss when we come back. Jets at Noon is brought to you by Wash Method Car Wash, 690 St. Anne's Road. VIP take on the text line or by phone. We'll win a VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method. 204-780-6868. We'll announce the winner later in the program, which is coming at you live from the Boston Pizza Studio for gourmet pizza and pasta. Bring the team to Boston Pizza. Jim, just before we remind everybody where you are, I've gotten a couple text. Actually, there's been 2 text messages. One from Peter, And what's the other one? I think the other one here is from Robert. And both of them are asking this question here in regards to around this. It's like a question: why does Darren Dreger know more about Connor Hellebuyck's injury than you guys? You guys are local and based out of Toronto, I believe. Can you explain? And then we got and then the other texter Peter said something very similar. Well, I'm not an insider and I'm not a reporter. Like, I am a talk show host. I'm not out there digging sources and stuff like that. There's a big difference between what I do and what Darren Dreger does, and he's the best at it. So that's just not who we are, Jim Toth. So.
Well, yeah, I get the question because we're local and they're not.
Yeah, I do too.
Insiders are insiders. It doesn't matter where they're based. Insiders mean they can text a GM and a GM will text them back. So unless we hear news, or like I often found news about the Jets over the years by just being out in the community and seeing something or talking to somebody, and then I'll verify and confirm. But it's a well-known fact that insiders routinely just pick up the phone and can call a general manager and they'll call them back. Mm-hmm. And there's protocols, and whenever I find information, I text the organization and I say, I've got a source or two sources that say this. And then the process of whether they confirm or deny, they themselves go to Kevin Cheveldayoff and talk with him. And then they get back to me. And there hasn't been a time where I haven't, found some stuff that the Jets have said, no, that if it was true, they're like, okay, well, we can confirm this, or we will be confirming that, or whatever, and stuff like that. But I don't have the information and I don't know, Darren Dreger's an insider, and I don't know how he would get the information that, other than having a conversation with Chevy. But before he would call Chevy, he would find some information that this was happening and then call Kevin Cheveldayoff. And, I mean, it's not unbeknownst to the public that people don't return your and my calls very often, right?
It's true.
Especially
and so Peter, thanks for that text message.
And I'm not disrespecting Cheveldayoff. Whenever I've engaged with him or talked to him, but I usually go through the team representative. The team representative always gets back to me and says, Kevin says this, or Kevin says that, or Kevin won't confirm that, or he will confirm this. But the insiders are the select few in how this works, that they just go to Chevy themselves, and Chevy gets back to them.
Yeah, I mean, that's just so. Thanks to that, Peter. He also called us the best group at noon daily, so I appreciate that too as well. But Peter, we had a couple questions about that, so I just wanted to get that out there. Call the Boston Beats.
Yeah, but like an insider could be based in wherever. Like Frank Seravalli's in Philadelphia, and he had the news about Brad Lambert, and he would have it through probably an agent he knows that heard this, and then he would confirm it and put it out. But I get it, but that's why, like with Mike McIntyre, Ken Weed, Murat Atesh, anybody at the Sun and stuff, they get information, they follow it up with the team, and then they break it locally. This is just something that Darren got a hold of and broke it. But the location of where it's broken from doesn't really matter, in my opinion.
Yeah, all those guys have broken stories too locally as well.
But they are insiders for a reason, right? That's their job, and they have the connections.
Call the Boston Pizza Jets at Noon hotline, open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Boston Pizza, come in for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15 only at BP. Hey, the number one caller will be awarded a $50 gift card to Boston Pizza on Friday. Jim Toth, where are you right now?
I am at the St. Boniface Hospital, and we're here for the Radiothon of Hope and Healing. We're in the Bueller Room, I believe, is what it's called, Bueller Gallery. And it's outstanding, Cam. I'm really nervous because there's so much nice vases and stuff here that I'm afraid if I trip on a cord, and, it's like a Will Ferrell movie, right? Oh, you owe us $38,000 for that vase, which I will not be able to buy. But we are raising money here, of course. The 2025 Radiothon of Hope and Healing, presented by Vicar Automotive Group, is back at the St. Boniface Hospital in the Bueller Gallery and Everett Atrium. You can come down. There's plenty of things on display. You can make a donation, and it's all going to the great cause of your donations, making amazing things happen at St. Boniface Hospital. Speak up for the St. Boniface Hospital. Add your voice to power, compassion, and innovation this season. This just isn't a hospital. I heard a conversation with Hal Anderson's show, Cam, and I thought it was so true. It's not just a hospital that is striving to be as good as. This is a leading hospital in North America. They have some innovative stuff that's going on, especially in the cardiac department, that really is leading to where other hospitals are trying to get to this program. But having said that, we're very fortunate to have this here, but that's why we need funding to help them keep that innovation, to help all the great work they're doing to buy equipment. And your generosity today will make the difference. And my son was born in this hospital.
Mine too.
I heard yours was as well. So it brings back a lot of fond memories of the great care we had. And my boy was born during COVID, Cam, and we had to stay here 5 days, and it was just the two of us. And fortunately, my spouse did not turn on me during those 5 days.
It came close, though. I heard through the grapevine. It came very, very close.
Yeah, there was no knives allowed in the room because it was just a small one room, but I'm kidding, of course. But like, I go back to that place, and although there was COVID, and although no other family members could come visit or help out, and there was just the three of us, you wouldn't know it inside the halls. Like the halls, you were secluded in your room as well. But the staff here took such good care of everybody to ensure that even with a newborn, that COVID was COVID free and everybody was safe and stuff, and went above and beyond to check on us and everything. So it's just those little things like that when I come back to this place, it makes me want to open my own wallet and donate. And I hope everybody listening can do that as well, because it really is a great gem in our city.
All right, we got to go to the phones. The phones are packed. We got some callers patiently waiting. Roger, thanks for popping on Free For All Friday. What's going on, man?
Couple of things. Number one thing with Helly, I'm sad to hear that it's happening, but on the other side of the coin, it's going to solve that problem and see with how many games he's going to play this year, if it'll make a difference come playoff time.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've had other people say that to me. I guess, but is this good rest though? Is this like he still feels good and he's not having to go through surgery? It's not missing 4 games down the stretch and sitting and then having Eric Comrie come in there. I don't necessarily think that this is the sort of rest that you necessarily want, Jim. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think so either. This isn't done for rest, don't get me wrong. But there's always a silver lining in something. And if he's going to miss 4 to 6 weeks and go to the Olympics, which he will, I think that's a benefit. And for every fan out there who thinks the problem in the playoffs is Connor Hellebuyck playing 65 regular season games, I don't feel that way. I don't think it's the problem. I know how hard Connor Hellebuyck works, and he's a rhythm goalie and needs to play a lot in order to be at his optimal. But I think we'll find out, right? It's the silver lining in this is if he misses 15 to 20 games during this, and that's probably a lot, but if he misses 12 to 15 games over the 4 weeks, that's, it's only going to benefit him. But this is all about, in my mind, especially if it happened in training camp, it's probably something they could keep going with if they wanted to. But the fact that it was getting more sore and the idea of how hectic the schedule is, they're like, you know what? This is an opportunity to miss 4 to 6 weeks and have him as optimal and totally healed and fresh, which is the last, I think this is brilliant, and it's not brilliant. It's just the normal procedure. I wouldn't want them to do this in February. And then you go into March, and then he's got to get his game ready again and try and be ready for April. I think that if it's lingering and getting worse than staying the same, might as well get it done now.
Yeah, the Jets have recalled Thomas Milic from the Manitoba Moose. He's going to get a game in here, I think, pretty soon, Jim. I mean, they have a back-to-back in Carolina and Nashville, so he might be making his NHL debut over the next week or so, but we'll wait and see what happens. The 4 to 6 weeks could bring him up just before Christmas. The Jets' final game before Christmas is on December 21st. Now, Hellebuyck is undergoing surgery tomorrow. And so this would happen December 20. The 4 weeks would end on December 21st against Utah. And then the window to come back, the 6-week mark, would be leading into January 3rd's game against the Ottawa Senators here. So that's sort of the window of return. So we'll wait and see. I mean, I don't think anybody that has watched Hellebuyck or knows him or has been around him in any amount of time would think that this is a guy that isn't going to bust his chops to get back ASAP from this. So thanks, Roger. Thanks so much for the call. I appreciate it.
I still got another point on Lambert.
Okay, you got to be real quick though, because we got to get to other people.
Well, maybe he should talk to Rutger McGroarty and see how that's working for him.
Yeah, well, he just got back from injury. I think he's with the Wilkes-Barre. I looked that up today. Because I knew it was going to come up.
He wanted to move and didn't work out for him all that great in Pittsburgh.
Thanks for the call, Roger. Appreciate it.
No, it didn't. I mean, this is the world we live in, and we have to wrap our heads around this. It's the me now. Look, I disagree with what Brad Lambert's doing, but I understand why he's doing it. And if you can, let's play devil's advocate. Say in the next 2 weeks, they find a trade, they send him somewhere, and he starts playing in the NHL for Calgary.
Yeah.
Say. Good for him, right? All of a sudden, he's going to end this year with 60 NHL games on his resume as opposed to 12 to 15. And that's if there's more injuries. I fully believe in the American Hockey League, and I fully believe you need your time to develop there if you need to develop there.
Yeah.
We constantly see these first-round picks make the NHL, and we don't understand that is the vast minority of draft picks. And from what I've seen from Brad Lambert's game, don't get me wrong, he's more confident this year in his play. He's stronger on the ice. But he's not day in, day out NHL ready where he's going to contribute.
Yeah. Okay.
And on a win now team, I just think that, he needs some time in the Moose. But I understand he's looking at the top 6 here and going, if I'm not in it now, when will I be?
Let's go to George on the line. Hey, George.
Afternoon, boys. 2 things. Number 1, St. Boniface Hospital has taken care of me for the last 12 years of my life. I got 5 stents and a mechanical heart valve. And the doctors there are unbelievable, as long as the supporting staff as well as the healthcare aides and stuff. Everybody there looks after you. They're top notch, I'll tell you that.
Absolutely. Go. And what's your other point?
That's great.
Has there ever been a backup goaltender that has stepped in for a season for whatever reason and won a Vezina trophy?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. Man, I wish I had a memory like that and I could file all that information. No, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
I think Jim Carey won a Vezina is the most obscure one that I can remember. But I don't know if he came in the middle of the season or he made it out of camp. Do you remember? You probably don't remember Jim Carey. But Jim Carey was a second-round draft pick of the Washington Capitals. And I believe he was a World Junior in 1993. And I think he won I'll have to look this up, but I thought he won a Vezina, and it was like the most unlikely person ever because he wasn't very good prior that year, and he wasn't very good after it.
He won a Vezina in 1996. He was traded midway through the season to the Boston Bruins in a blockbuster deal. Carey would never find his true form again in Boston and was sent down to the minors a year later. But he won a Vezina. He made his NHL debut in Washington and went undefeated his first 7 games. He would finish the season with an 18-6-3 record and was selected to the all-rookie team. Early success promoted him to Washington's starting goalie the following season. His best in the NHL, he played 71 games, won 35, recorded 9 shutouts, and finished with a goals against average of 2.26 and won the Vezina. And
so he came in. He didn't start the season as a starter. He won the Vezina. He did. He went 7-0. Yeah. So he wasn't even a backup. He just won the job. And then
all right, thanks, George. We got to move on here.
Sorry.
Let's get to Jay. Hey, Jay.
Hey, guys. I'll make it really quick. Number 1 for the insider thing. Jimmy, don't lie. We all know you sit with Chevy on free agency day at his cabin, so don't lie about that.
That's true.
Don't say it. Wait. And Jay, don't give anything away.
Jay, and you're right.
You're ratting us out.
He's like, should I flip these burgers or should I make some phone calls? I'm like, you're good. Let him call you, Chevy.
Chevy, can you grab me another beer from the fridge? It's like, wow, we're about 5 minutes from the deadline. Oh, come on.
Chevy, which way do you want the toilet paper to hang? Over or under? Yeah. Thank you very much for the St. B thing. I know both my boys were born there. My dad had quadruple bypass in his 30s when he was there. So, that hospital is literally it's the heart of our healthcare. But my main question is with Hellebuyck's injury, and they're saying it came since training camp. Is this something that should have or could have been maybe operated on prior to where we're at now? And do you think it would be more of an advantage if it was, before the season than where it is right now?
I think they could have taken advantage of it. This was based on what Scott O'Neill was saying. I think it's something that they could have dealt with, but Hellebuyck wanted to try and play through it, and it just was progressively nagging him and potentially getting worse and worse. And so they decided that this was the right opportunity to deal with it. So I think it's something that could have been dealt with earlier, but they wanted to see how things played out.
And I don't think it's something that you necessarily like.
Thanks, Jay. I gotta let you go. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate it.
To me, it just sounds like it happened at camp, and it wasn't something you immediately cut or surgery. Cut to have surgery on, so you kind of see how it goes. So I don't think that it's something that could have been done earlier.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we got to go. Let's take a break. Let's come back. On the other side, we'll continue on. And also, hey, we got to give away that VIP car wash from our good friends at Wash Method. And, we got to give away our $50 gift card to Boston Pizza. We'll be right back.
Toth on 680 CJOB.
Question for you. What's with these young players that the Winnipeg Jets have drafted? First it was Rutger McGroarty. Now it's Brad Lambert.
Well, congratulations to Terry. You are our VIP caller and have won a $50 gift card to Boston Pizza. Calling the Boston Pizza Jets at noon. Hotline open 24/7, 204-780-6800. Coming for lunch every weekday to Boston Pizza. Get a delicious main side and ice cold drink for only $15 only at BP. And our VIP texter, we went to the text line today, Jim Toth, and this is from Jack, who says, "What's up, hosers? Free for all Friday.
Free for all.
The Hellebuyck injury has ruined my weekend. Trade Lambert for Skinner, boys. It's our only hope, question mark. Just jokes. But Comrie will be great. He's been awesome this season when the guys in front of him are playing good. Thanks, Jack." Yeah, you know what? And again, Jim, you're talking about silver lining. The team has been playing fairly good defensively, but there is, of course, always room for improvement. And this is sort of the call to action to tighten things up more and support Eric Comrie, because you don't have the reigning Hart Trophy, reigning back-to-back Vezina winner in between the pipes.
Well, he didn't play enough to get his name on the Jennings, but he played well enough that it could be if he had more games. So, and the other thing I want to note is the last game they played, they looked like themselves. And along with looking like themselves and defending well, or better than we've seen all year, Comrie made a gigantic save in the third period that kept them in this. Look, he's not Connor Hellebuyck, but he's good enough to not see anything go off the rails. But I'm fascinated by this opportunity for him. And if you want your weekend ruin, Cam, my 5-year-old is going to his first Jets game tonight.
Uh-oh.
This morning, he tore out of the closet and only wanted to wear his Hellebuyck jersey. And I said, you got to wait till the game tonight. You can't wear that to school. And now I got to go home and tell him that Hellebuyck heard you were coming to the game and he doesn't want to play for you. I mean, I got to tell him that he's not going to be in the game somehow.
Well,
that's what I mean.
Okay, is he going to be able to tell? Is he going to be able to tell the difference?
Well, I'm hoping that the other 21 players that he idolizes will be enough for him. But I mean, it's funny how life is. Like this fans' weekend's been devastating. I just hit me that Jim, I got to tell the little guy tonight on the way to the game that I know you've waited your whole life to see your favorite player, but he won't be.
What
playing
he doesn't
tonight.
know can't hurt him, because listen, my little guy wants books constantly read to him, and he's constantly pointing at the bookshelf. And now we have to tell him, no, the books have gone to sleep. My boy, the books have gone to sleep, so now you have to go to sleep. And now he looks at them and he goes, shh, the books are sleeping. Well, he's not saying that because he doesn't talk like that, but he's gesturing. So,
or maybe
listen, Jim, you always have to lie to kids. If it makes your life easier, just lie to them.
I'm not a good liar. I can just use it as motivation. This is what happens when you don't listen to your mom and dad.
And listen, Nikolai Ehlers, his first game back in Winnipeg, totally overshadowed by the Brad Lambert and Connor Hellebuyck news, but this is going to be a great game. And I played that clip of Nikolai Ehlers, just was able to squeeze out a little bit of him today. He's nervous and he sounds nervous and he's going to be emotional. This is a big moment for him. And he loves the city. He loves this team. It just, life took him in another direction. So I expect and know that Winnipeg Jets fans are going to appreciate Nick Ehlers and give him the ovation that he deserves when he's going to have his moment during the video review. So it's going to be a nice moment, and it's going to be an incredible game, and I think it's going to be a pivot point for the Winnipeg Jets, particularly with the news around Connor Hellebuyck. Dial in. This is a great hockey team. Jim Toth is down at St. B. He will give us an update when he comes back. Thank you very much to Jeffrey Fortier for producing the show. That's it for me. Back same time on Monday. See ya.